All right, bro. Well, welcome to this course, 100-day yoga transformation course.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so let's move straight to it. A little wall of pure light to
Mm,
shine in the corners of the heart. That's
mm,
just a little acknowledgements page.
mm.
So, yes, basically, welcome.
Thank you.
Salutations. Yoga is a heritage, actually. We just every generation gets a chance to kind of carry something, maybe expand on it, but mainly it's an inheritance. And so it's always nice to when you start, to acknowledge that
Mm,
um it's a gift that has been passed down. So that's why the salutations, all the gods, sages, saints, seers, yogis who created this possibility for us to realize our inherent spiritual nature and become free of the great fear of life and death.
mm,
May this program be for the highest good of all concerned. May it be an accessible and reliable path to open the doors of perception, open our hearts to the eternity of the self and get fit and healthy in the meantime so we can best fulfill our destiny on earth. Namah Shiva Yoga Union. So that's our kind of mission statement with the course.
mm.
So let's get right into it, man. And listen, I know that you're thinking, we're going for a yoga session. I guess like with this, what we're doing, it's a bit like joining NASA. You don't straight go into the rocket ship to the moon. There's some little orientation that I
Mm.
need to give. So this is a work in progress that I'm kind of just building out, and hopefully together we can add to this.
Mm.
Um, but you know, Hatha Yoga originally, isn't it, like Lord Shiva? Um, the whole thing was observing nature and that kind of union with the natural world.
Mm.
And therefore, a lot of the postures, for instance, the asanas, are based on animals or plants about things in the natural world, right?
Mm.
And I really like these animal movements. So I've got four here: bear, monkey, lizard, frog. So much fun, and really, I find such a good way to such a good thing to practice, for your athletic ability, etc.
Mm.
Um, we'll get into those at some other point. Skeletal. I want to go straight into this movement of the spine. Okay, so there's basically three areas of the spine: lumbar, thoracic, and cervical. And the spine is just super important. You know, we, your it's encasing your spinal cord, which is your whole physical existence, is coming from this. Okay, so much of the training is to make sure we have a good, healthy back. Okay. Um, so those are the movements, those are the parts of the spine, and it's good to be able to differentiate them and move them in isolation. Like you got to know how to move just the lumbar, just the thoracic, the chest, and then obviously the neck. Okay. So the spine is capable of four primary movements: flexion, extension, lateral flexion, and rotation. And when it comes to the asanas, there's categories of asanas. And flexion, for instance, is the forward bending asanas, is perfecting the flexion of the spine. The back bending is the extension of the spine.
Mm.
Rotation is what we'd call spinal twisting because the vertebrae can go like this, like this. So that's why you do these spinal twists to keep that possible. Muscular, okay, like my view on this, in yoga, in hatha yoga, you're not so much using your muscles actually. If you want to go to gym, it's fine, it's all good. But I guess these ancient systems are more into like energy cultivation.
Mm.
if you're just burning them, like it's kind of like a habit we're in when we train. We just burn the muscles, burn the muscles, burn the muscles.
Right.
Um, but long term is not so good. It is better to get into the tendons, deeper in the structural layer.
Mm.
Um, and you'll find as well mentally, there's a lot of beauty there, like you kind of go past the muscular system deeper in, and you really find a very, very tranquil place inside the body. So even with these, like let's take Utkatasana, which is the chair pose. Sometimes I call it the electric chair. Um, Even that, you can, it's heavily activating the muscles, but you can still go beyond the muscles and you can really transform your body like that. Um, yeah, so that's just something to bear in mind. We're not trying to just burn the muscles in with our training.
Mm.
Okay, it's deeper than that, and you'll see over time you can burn the muscles. You'll actually have a much better mind connection with the muscles, and you can build them if you want. Um, but first you have to be educated beyond the muscles. This is kind of more
Right. Right.
the
Right.
style, and it takes a lot of energy in it. Muscles are very expensive.
Mm.
You have to feed them a lot of calories, and they go like this. But the tendons and the joints and the fascia layer, um, that's where it's at, man. That's where it's at.
I'm guessing you have a more holistic sort of view about this because I've never really heard this before.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see as we get more in the training, but you're right because the muscles are kind of limited. If
Mm.
if you can go beyond the muscular system, that's where everything's at,
Mm.
and that's when you really can you start to change the body and you get a better prana flow.
Mm.
The
Ah.
muscles they take a lot. You have to eat a lot. They burn a lot of energy. This way, it's like cultivating an inner energy, like this. That's the
Mm.
crucial difference. Okay. Um, Paschimottanasana. So that is basically, well, it's a back stretching pose. So like if you were to sit down and then touch your toes, that's Paschimottanasana. There's all different types of Paschimottanasana. Dynamic. We won't get into that right now. Skills. I love this one. Falling. Okay, for instance. Um, Falling, you know, elderly people, I think it's like a third of elderly people. That's how they meet their end. They fall over. Happened to my grandparents. Um, you know, falling over, breaking their hip. So it's important to practice. I feel it's important to practice how to fall correctly. Well, I've got a class on that. Maybe I'll record that especially. But also in your training, if you learn how to fall and you're fine with falling, you'll have a lot more confidence and you'll be surprised how much more flexible you are. Because
Mm.
once you know you can fall without a problem, you can relax. This is all about relaxation. You know,
Mm.
yeah. It's funny. A lot of movements, there's actually not a muscular issue. There's nothing. There's not a muscular thing stopping you from achieving a posture. If
Yeah.
I, you know what I'm saying? If I put some chloroform on your nose, you could easily do these things. But it's a nervous system thing, right?
Right, right, yeah. The hidden fears within. I do sometimes get the
Yeah,
fear of falling. Like it does come and it comes. You can sort of sense that it's actually causing the body to be more tight than it has to.
more. Yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, his tie is more rigid
Yeah.
because he's trying to make you survive. It's fair enough. He's doing a good job, and we've never asked him to do a lot of these crazy stuff. So he's like, yeah, what the hell, man? I'm just trying to balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, full rolls, back rolls, keep up handstands. Okay. Right, this is really cool. So this is don't freak out, but this is chakras, okay? And this is quite an essential part of what the yogis realized. Um I mean, if we want to put it simply, these are you could call them like energy centers, psychic energy centers.
Right, right, right.
Um, obviously you're some kind of bioelectrical machine, aren't you? Your human body. And you have these points in the spine mainly, uh, which are like heavy junctions that split off into different areas that are highly responsible. And you'll see you have, glands. They're glands in the physical, that kind of, what's the word? Are the shadow of these chakras. The chakras, you can't see them maybe with a microscope, um, but they are there on a more subtle level.
Mm,
Okay. And slowly, by practicing the asanas, you can bring your attention more to these chakras, just to observe them. Nothing crazy, but just to become more aware of what's going on inside your own body. Because you will notice, you will notice as you practice Hatha Yoga, you will feel, how to say, you'll feel more dormant parts of your system come alive. All right.
mm,
Because it's like you block energy leakages, and
right.
it does rise up. The humans are very interesting because our spine is up like this, vertical. Most animals is like horizontal. Yeah, we
Uh,
we we're very uniquely placed in the system of nature. Um,
can I
yeah,
ask you something?
yeah, sure, sure.
On a more like basic level, like how do you feel yoga has changed your life? Because of course you're speaking like things that are quite subtle and quite transformative. But
Yeah,
have you
yeah.
like felt those change? I'm sure you have, but have you felt those changes in your life and like how has it kind of affected?
That's a really good question, man. I mean, I think I think it straightens really can straighten you out,
Mm,
in so many different ways.
mm,
Um, it it really fundamentally transforms your relationship to the body and the mind and the energy system.
mm,
Um, I mean, a lot more things become possible as well in the dynamic life,
mm,
because you're kind of less at the mercy of the planets, if I can use that term, because you've got a bit of a user manual of
mm,
the life of the bodily life.
mm,
Because it's like you're kind of dropped with the body. You got no idea what to do with it.
mm,
And the mind is just being conditioned,
mm,
and we just go through basically, as best we could.
mm,
But you've got a really you're getting plugged into, a magical system with a
mm,
magical heritage on the other side, man. You wouldn't believe it.
mm,
And I feel it's one of those as well, bro. Like, you know, it's dependent on your, what's the word, proclivities, or on on your style. Okay, everybody can use this energy in their way that they
I see.
like. So, for good or bad, or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the yogis evolved. Yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, yes, you'll be connected with all those yogis in a different way.
Mm,
Um, but you start training the physical,
yeah.
then you start training the the breath with the pranayama. And
Mm,
then at that stage, your psyche definitely can change. It changes a lot.
mm,
You can straighten out. You can also straighten out parts of your psyche. Like a lot of your suffering, you realize, is kind of avoidable. There's a
Mm.
lot of stuff you're suffering which is just simply avoidable.
Okay.
It's just you never you we instead of learning this, which is so fundamental to our life and our well-being, in this upside down topsy turvy world, you spend all your life learning about, I don't know, Pythagoras theorem and all, how to do all that stuff's good and that, but you know what I mean? Like, this is very fundamental on every level about your well-being. Um, so I think it's hugely transformative. I don't know if I was very specific with that answer. Um,
You,
but yeah.
no, you know why I asked? Because I see myself, like when I go to start one of these things, the thing that motivates me most is actually seeing someone else do it and see their change in their life and be like, okay,
Yes,
this
yeah,
is what
yeah.
happened for me, you know? And of course I've known you. I think you started your yoga journey before you met me, but I think it got really
Yeah.
proper after we met. And so that's why I'm kind of wondering like how did it change you? Because I think it's also for those of us watching, it's like, wow, oh shit. Okay, so he's not just talking about it, it is his own experience and this can happen to me too, if I follow what he's done. So that's why I kind of wanted to get
Yeah.
a little bit of insight of what's happened to
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you'll see, man, like honestly, it's a really crazy thing because as well, like it will change even your it will change your everything in life. That's the crazy thing. 'Cause, sometimes you'll resist it too.
Mm,
Um, but it's kind of like, yeah, you've got you'll get an upgraded engine, and
mm,
you don't really, a lot of things you have to you will end up dropping of
mm.
your old self because it doesn't fit anymore.
Wow.
It's an accelerator.
Mm.
Um, yeah, yeah, it's so great, man. It's so great.
Yeah,
It's awesome, you know.
yeah, no, I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you, bro.
So, mate, let's go straight into it. So, yeah, these are some sessions. So, a little intro here, mate. Let me just bring that down. So, yeah, according to yogic physiology, the human framework is comprised of five bodies or sheaths. So, sheath, excuse me, like a sword, is a cover for the sword. It's not the sword, but it's the cover of the sword, which account for different aspects or dimensions of human existence. This is fundamental how yoga sees existence. It's quite different,
Mm.
uh, but it's beautifully scientific. So Anamaya kosher. So also, let me. So look at this. Every word has got Maya in it, and we know this very well. Maya, it's like illusion.
Mm.
Um, even up to here, Ananda Maya kosher, transcendental or bliss body, also is referred to as a Maya.
Mm.
And if you look at your experience, it's true, isn't it?
Mm.
But yeah, so food or material body is the Anamaya kosher because your physical form is just food, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you think, it's beautiful to meditate on that. It's like actually the physical form is even that is just very interconnected, and it's the result of food. If you didn't eat food, there'd be no body.
Mm.
There's a intake of the earth that happens through the mouth, and then there's a marvelous process. The life force does a process to the food and makes it like this, which the spirit animates. So that's the first layer, and you have asanas here to straighten that out.
Mm.
Now, two and three, sometimes I've seen them switched around in different books, even from the same yoga schools. Um, doesn't really matter. It's more what they're referring to. Manomaya kosha, mental body, which I find so fascinating because in the same way that you've picked up all this to make a physical body, We've,
Yes.
if you think about your conditioning, our
Yeah.
conditioning as we grew up, the society, the parents, the religion, the everything, the body, the way the body is that, you know, tends towards a certain type of mind. That's the mental body, you know. Um, so that's going on.
We observe.
Pranamaya code. Sorry, bro. What
No,
do you
I was
say?
just saying we observe this one a lot with our own side, isn't it? This one, we're a
Yeah,
bit more
always.
aware of that one.
Basically, basically that's main sadhana. We're kind of like between one and two in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah, the thoughts, the compulsive thoughts
Yeah,
is the manomaya kosher just
yeah,
going, isn't it?
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
Um, I like the way this order of things because more subtle, but pranamaya kosher, the layer of prana, bioplasmic or vital energy. So I like this way around because if you, let's say you were to do what's called anulom vilom, which is the alternate nostril breathing, that's very regulated. You'll see it'll start to regulate the mental body. It will change the thoughts will get the compulsive thinking will change.
That is true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I prefer that because I think though that compulsive thinking is underlined by the pranamaya kosha.
Mm,
It's more foundational. Vinanya maya kosha, number four, psychic or higher mental body. I mean, for me, this is kind of like observer, observing, like that phenomenal detached observer that can see, that's like can discern. Still, it's like you can't take it to deep sleep, really. It's a Maya. But it's like that is quickly next to the Ananda Maya kosha, transcendental bliss body, emptiness. Like,
mm,
kind of like that Ananda, blissful merging, yeah?
mm,
So this is how Hatha Yoga is saying this is the what comprises your human experience. So it's just
mm,
really, really helpful,
yeah.
I find. I got a video of Papaji here. If you would you have to list it?
Of course, man. Of course.
Yes, yes. It's where he talks about the story of Kabir.
Oh, wow.
Uh, anyway, yeah, maybe we just will watch this later. But it's a beautiful. This is the story where he talks about Kabir and the milling. Have you seen the milling the grain? And Kabir was crying. He was such a beautiful man. He was crying that those grains were crushed. But then he says, "Look in the center. In the center, those are not getting crushed."
Mm,
Uh, I just thought it's really, really beautiful, very deep analogy. Um, but it's also like kind of like this.
yeah,
Like if our attention is only in the food or material body or the mental body, you're
yeah,
gonna get it's temporary.
yeah.
It's very fleeting.
Mm,
Okay, man. So after all this highfalutin talk, right? Let's look at this. The purpose of Hatha Yoga, according to the Hatha Yogis, the main aim of Hatha Yoga is to bring about a balanced flow of prana in Ida and Pingala nadis. The word Hatha represents the solar force and the lunar force. I don't know how you're feeling about that. You're thinking, what the hell does that even mean?
uh,
Um,
yeah. My attention switched off when I was like, okay, stick with explain it.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course, yeah, there's a lot of new things, but um, kind of a mind-blowing concept and very fresh. It certainly was to me when I heard about this. Simply, you have two nostrils. The left nostril, when that is more open than the right, it means what's called Ida is flowing. When it's the other way, the right nostril is more open than the left, is Pingala. Those are listen, if you read Lord Shiva, who originated yoga, the whole treatise on yoga is about this.
Mm,
It's He has such a mind-blowing, unbelievable, unsurpassed knowledge of all aspects of life,
mm,
um, but the human organism, that the whole treatise is about basically it's the knowledge of that flow of breath and how that relates to life. So he's just like, okay, if you're gonna take a boat, make sure this nadi is make sure the left nostril is flowing. If you're gonna do this, make sure the right nostril is flowing.
Oh
It's
wow.
it it and actually the neuroscientists are agreeing. I interviewed Martha Havanith on my YouTube channel. She's a neuroscientist and breathwork practitioner. She says yes, they're finally seeing this, that when the nostrils flowing changes the brain.
Wow.
Whichever nostril is flowing is changing the brain. And the other nadi, susumna nadi is what they call it. When both nostrils are flowing simultaneously at the same time, you'll notice actually in a deep state of meditation, that susumna nadi starts to flow, even though the breathing might become basically nothing in a deep state of meditation.
Mm,
So this is, but we'll get more into this as we go. Oh, sorry. All right, here's an awesome quote from Lord Shiva. One who can differentiate between nadis, pranas, tattvas means like elements, fire, earth, water, and between Pingala, Ida, Susumna, and other nadis attains liberation. It'd be very impossible. It's impossible not to know yourself as formless if you can see these things. So you slowly develop that inner awareness of these things.
mm,
And it becomes much more obvious that it's like the bodily form is just an elemental play.
mm,
And a lot of the kind of fears and what's the word? Neuroses kind of disappear like that.
mm,
So we're getting into our golden rules, man, of training in this way. Number one is training without strain.
mm,
So, yeah, training without strain, man.
mm.
So, a lot of talk, isn't there, at the moment about nervous system.
Yeah.
People love talking about nervous system. So this is this is what we're doing. We are using more the parasympathetic nervous system. We're actually trying to eliminate panic. Okay. Unwittingly, we have a lot of panic stored inside
Mm,
trauma.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um, and a tension that is there, and we're gonna face it head on.
Mm,
Okay. So that's what this training is for. It's to basically, like a mother with the baby, lovingly make the situation right.
mm,
And you do that by training always without strain. Don't get me wrong, as you develop your training, you're going to be training intensely. And someone will look at the training and be like, wow, he's
mm,
really going for it.
mm,
But it will still be without the tension. Okay. You should be able to practice just in your genes, and in a very relaxing way.
mm,
Okay. Develop the attitude of detached witnessing. Obviously, yeah, we're embarking on with
mm,
yoga. You can have experiences and stuff like that, bodily sensations, mind sensations. Develop the attitude of detached witnessing to all of that.
mm,
Don't just pick up the first fear of the mind. Be
mm,
very detached the whole time. If it's good feelings, bad feelings, whatever, you remain detached.
mm,
Okay. This is number one rule. Okay. Finally, consistency cultivates tejas. Tejas means inner fire. Um, you know, through so many things, we have like a haze, a gray haze in our brain. I think if you had a good enough machine, you could probably see it.
Mm.
There's like dust in the brain that creates a very tamazic and
Mm.
thing, and you're gonna slowly develop a fire inside of you, which will travel upwards, and it will burn the gray,
Mm.
and yeah, you can see things in a totally different way. So that's what it is. Consistency. So consistency, it'd be better to train 2 minutes a day than an hour a week, in my opinion.
Okay.
Keep the thread. Keep the thread. That keeps the fire going.
Mm.
Keeps the fire going. Oh, I don't know if we should get into this, man, but screw it. We're gonna do it. So, if you know anything, if you ever read any of the stories of Lord Shiva, he was truly, I mean, he knew about absolutely everything, but this was always very important, and he talks about this a lot.
Mm.
Um, so he said, ejaculation of semen brings death. Preserving it within brings life. Therefore, one should make sure to retain the semen within. One is born and dies through semen. In this, there's no doubt. Knowing this, the yogi must always preserve his semen. So, obviously, nobody can disagree that one is born through it,
Mm.
because that's how you're here. um, People are often, they wouldn't accept that they die through it. They say, how's that possible? I think anybody who's practiced semen retention knows that the difference it makes is huge.
Mm.
Um, and obviously, though, I don't feel this is something to be forced. If it feels natural to you, it's good. If
Mm.
it's not, don't force it.
Yeah.
And to make it easier, Master Mantak Chia, the Chi Master Mantak Chia, he says in the Taoist tradition, which is parallel to the yoga tradition, honestly. They just got a different way, but it's just as fantastic. This is what they call the golden state of preservation for men. So this is the interval. How old are you, Vaith? You're probably what,
36.
36. So yeah, once every 2 weeks is healthy
Right.
for you. Yeah, something like that. I can, from because I've been on this path a lot and I've seen also a lot of different folks. I mean, right now, my view is you're absolutely right. If you're practicing it, it screws people up.
Mm.
It can absolutely screw you up because you get all kinds of complexes, sexual complexes, if you're forcing a celibacy like that. And
Mm.
you have to give yourself a lot of grace. Look at the society we grew up in, look how repressed it is.
Mm.
You have to be a little kind to yourself.
Mm.
And it was you know, uh I see that guys is really screwing themselves up.
Wow.
Sometimes it's better to just drop the whole semen retention no fap thing for some people.
Wow.
Because yeah, you're dealing with a huge thing here.
Yeah.
Your sexual energy is your sexual motivation and the brain and everything is so connected.
Mm.
Um, and you can end up quite neurotic if you're not careful. So that's why I just say if you're very attracted to this, it's good.
Yeah.
Um,
I see.
but you know, don't be getting fanatical right now, bro. Like for me, that as well is a problem.
Mm.
The fact that after you're having sex and you ejaculate and then afterwards you're like not feeling good, oh, I'm feeling low, that's neurotic. For
Mm.
me, that's neurotic. Like you shouldn't, if you ejaculate, it's refreshing. Just take the refreshment if you have
Wow.
a sex, Um, this thing is like you basically have convinced your body of a reality that's not true.
Mm.
Yeah. You're a young man, you can ejaculate, mate. You can, and you're not gonna have a loss of energy.
Mm.
Obviously, I know people. Yeah, I get it. It is yes, yes, yes. You retain. Listen, I've done it. I've done the heroic dose of retaining. Yes, you feel great, blah blah blah, but you can't be. You don't want to be like so attached to that. Don't
Mm,
get too attached to it, mate.
that's what I was feeling. Okay, yeah.
You know, if anything, bust and then keep busting until you realize, listen, it makes no difference.
Mm,
That's much better. Then you're solid. Then you're
mm,
solid because you never know, mate. You know.
I like that. Yeah. Mm,
Yeah, I think and that is exactly the cycle so many people are in. They've basically created a trap for themselves. All
mm,
the best intention in the world, but they've now screwed themselves because they're like, oh man, now I'm on this wheel. I was on
uh,
I was on the ejaculation wheel. I couldn't stop ejaculating. Now I've stopped, and now every time I do, I have this whole oh no, I've relapsed, and oh no, oh, I'm in this negative loop. It's completely
mm.
self-created. It's completely self-created. You have you ever met someone who doesn't give a damn about semen retention? They got all the energy in the world. Busted nuts. They don't give a damn because it's a mind mentality, man. Mentality very important. Obviously, like view yourself in a very scientific way.
Mm,
That's one thing as well. It's in the preface, but like be detached with yourself and use just don't be so like emotionally like your worth is attached to what happens because it's like
mm.
yeah you've got to do this attachment to be in this game
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear
because you are going to change, you're going to transform through yoga, so it's better to like not to be because then what's happened is people's worth has been so tied up into the semen retention now.
into what they project to. Yeah, yeah, to be themselves. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Oh, I need, oh, I had sex and I ejaculated. Oh, it's such a huge, oh, I'm feeling so low. I'm tired. I got no libido. This is just, you're just mind fucking yourself.
Mm,
It's a lot of it's a load of shit. And you just, there's the power of belief. That belief is a huge thing. You've basically created a belief system and you're experiencing it.
mm,
So caution. It's a cautionary tale.
mm,
But at the same time, yes, if you truly like and for someone who is like goes beyond sexuality like this, it's amazing.
mm.
They're like a god. But yeah, cool. That was a really cool conversation.
Yeah.
So I think we should finish off with this, and this is a little practical.
Okay.
So corrective breathing. How you breathing is so important.
Yeah.
Um, what we will do practically, we'll do a little guided. I'll take it from the asana pranayama. Basically, yeah. This book, oh, it's blurring out. Asana Pranayama Mudra Bandha by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. There's no point reinventing the wheel. Most of this is absolutely perfect. I'm not, this is authority for me. So
Yeah.
we'll do the guidance for the natural breathing and the diaphragmatic breathing.
Right.
Um, so natural breathing, we will just become aware of the breathing process. You got to see how the breath behaves inside your body.
Right.
It's a perfect reflection of your soul. That's what's so cool. And it's a two-way thing. You can control your experience with the breath, and it's that bridge. It's a link between the infinity and your bodily life.
Beautiful.
So diaphragm, thoracic, chest breathing. Okay, and clavicular. I know clavicular now. He's someone on YouTube. I saw a video of him punching his. I don't know if you've seen this guy on YouTube. I saw a video. He's punching his cheekbones. It's something called lux maxing. Have you ever heard of this? No, no. I spent too much time.
I finished with no fat, bro. I'm not gonna go
Honestly, I spent too much time online that I even know this guy. But like clavicular. So these are the clavicles.
Yeah, yeah.
You ever see someone talking and they're like retching for air? And they're using the top part of the lungs. We want to avoid that, bro.
Mm,
Avoid that because you can, it's amazing. Sometimes I do it. I'll experiment with the breathing, and it's like, yeah, I can induce my a panic. I can induce like a panic state if I breathe clavicular breathing, and a lot of people are breathing like this in their daily life, and that's why they're so stressed. If they could correct the breathing like we're gonna do, it would help them no end.
wow.
Because what you're gonna do now, you're gonna tell yourself, okay, body, nervous system, brain, we want to breathe like this from now on. You guys are awesome. You do it, and it will do it. The subconscious will do it for you. You just got to teach it, and he's gonna be like, oh, okay, I could do that. We just get into bad habits because we're not conscious. That's all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. All righty then. Okay. Cool, man. Let's would it be possible for you to like lie down somewhere for comfortable
Yeah, for
and
sure. I
like
can lie down here. I'm on my couch. So,
just lie down? Yeah, just lie down and relax. Okay,
all right. It's cool. I'm not on camera.
it's fine, mate. It's fine.
Yeah? All right.
Just tell me when you're like happy and comfy.
2 6. All right, go for it, bro.
Okay. So we'll start with natural breathing. This is a simple technique which introduces practitioners to their own respiratory system and breathing patterns. Excuse me. It is very relaxing and may be practiced at any time. Awareness of the breathing process is itself sufficient to slow down the respiratory rate and establish a more relaxed rhythm. Natural breathing. Lie in Shavasana and relax the whole body. Observe the natural and spontaneous breathing process. Develop total awareness of the rhythmic flow of the breath. Feel the breath flowing in and out of the nose. Do not control the breath in any way. Notice that the breath is cool as it enters the nostrils and warm as it flows out. Observe this with the attitude of a detached witness. Feel the breath flowing in and out at the back of the mouth and above the throat. Bring the awareness down to the region of the throat and feel the breath flowing in the throat. Bring the awareness down to the region of the chest and feel the breath flowing in the trachea and bronchial tubes. Next, feel the breath flowing in the lungs. Be aware of the lungs expanding and relaxing. Shift the attention to the rib cage and observe the expansion and relaxation of this area. Bring the awareness down to the abdomen. Feel the abdomen move upward on inhalation and downward on exhalation. Finally, become aware of the whole breathing process, from the nostrils to the abdomen, and continue observing it for some time. Bring the awareness back to observing the physical body as one unit and open the eyes. But stay lying down. Stay very relaxed. I'm going to read the intro for abdominal breathing and then we'll do a little practical. Abdominal or diaphragmatic breathing is practiced by enhancing the action of the diaphragm and minimizing the action of the rib cage. The diaphragm is a domed sheet of muscle that separates the lungs from the abdominal cavity and, when functioning correctly, promotes the most efficient type of breathing. It is the effect of the diaphragm rather than the diaphragm itself that is experienced as the stomach rises and falls, but sensitivity will come with practice. During inhalation, the diaphragm moves downwards, pushing the abdominal contents downward and outward. During exhalation, the diaphragm moves upwards and the abdominal contents move inward. Movement of the diaphragm signifies that the lower lobes of the lungs are being utilized. The proper use of the diaphragm causes equal expansion of the alveoli, improves lymphatic drainage from basal parts of the lungs, massages the liver, stomach, intestines, and other organs that lie immediately beneath it, exerts a positive effect on the cardiac functions and coronary supply, and improves oxygenation of the blood and circulation. Abdominal breathing is the most natural and efficient way to breathe. However, due to tension, poor posture, restrictive clothing, and lack of training, it is often forgotten. Once this technique again becomes part of daily life and correct breathing is restored, there will be a great improvement in the state of physical and mental well-being. So lie in Shavasana, you already are. Relax the whole body. Keep relaxing. Now place the right hand on the abdomen just above the navel, and the left hand over the center of the chest. Observe the spontaneous breath without controlling it in any way. Let it be absolutely natural. To practice abdominal breathing, feel as though you are drawing the energy and breath in and out directly through the navel. The right hand will move up with inhalation and down with exhalation. The left hand remains almost still. Let the abdomen relax. Do not try to force the movement in any way. Do not expand the chest or move the shoulders. Feel the abdomen expanding and contracting. Continue breathing slowly and deeply. Inhale while expanding the abdomen as much as is comfortable without expanding the rib cage. At the end of the inhalation, the diaphragm will be compressing the abdomen and the navel will be at its highest point. On exhalation, the diaphragm moves upward and the abdomen moves downward. At the end of the exhalation, the abdomen will be contracted and the navel compressed towards the spine. Continue for a few minutes. Relax any effort and once again watch the spontaneous breathing pattern. Bring the awareness back to observing the physical body as a whole. Be aware of the surroundings and gently open the eyes. And when you're ready, gently come to life and sit up. Okay. How did you find that?
Mm, in one way, kind of like just deepened the attention inside. I think it was a bit more stuck inside here. And then
Yeah.
now I feel a bit more in the body, actually more in the witnessing position, a bit more
Nice.
calm, a bit more quiet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you manage to because sometimes it can be like what's like in physics or whatever, if you look at a particle it changes or whatever. I don't know exactly what it is, but like if you look when you start observing the breath, he sometimes starts behaving differently. Did you find that, or
I
did you?
thought like because of the instructions you were given, it was almost like something was just following quite seamlessly. The only like impediment was like the intention to mind and then that coming and trying to interpret or going off into an tangent. So like the attention went off there. But as you were speaking, it was like everything you were seeing was everything you were saying was just being noticed and like
No.
activated or something. So yeah.
Cool, cool, cool. So yeah, we just went through as well the abdominal breathing. Did that make sense that, like the diaphragm is like a sheet of muscle here,
Mm,
goes down and up. Like and you see, isn't it? It's very relaxing and it has a I don't know, I certainly feel like it has an impact. Even spending a few minutes doing that, um, just deeply, slowly breathing from the diaphragm has a very calming effect for me. I don't know about you.
yeah, you just feel a bit more. I think that's what I mean by the witnessing position. You just feel a bit more present, less less involved there.
Nice, nice, cool.
Yeah.
So that's the end of this session. It was a little bit more heavy on the theory, man. Sorry about that. Don't worry, we will kick off and it'll get a little more get our hands dirty
Mm.
after this. Obviously, this slide here is funny because you need to kind of be in real life, but it works also online, I think. So this little mirror, I got it from Saja, um, and it had a little mirror inside. But I think it's just good, at the beginning of something like this, that what's the word? It can be helpful to look at yourself in the mirror or something, and speak goodness to yourself, as
Yeah.
well. Bless
Mm.
yourself and say, listen, I'm every step of the way,
Mm.
I'm here,
Mm.
and what come what may,
Yeah.
and like that, you're pretty unconquerable.
Mm.
So, I would ask you to do that. Um, you have that whatever words, whatever is right for you,
Yeah.
Um, but you speak your attention, you speak your name, and yeah, you
Mm.
set your intention for
Yes.
this training. That would be great.
Cool.
Cool. Cool, brother. Thank you so much. And the next class we're gonna get, because the way I had done it, we would do some breath work. Pranayama is very different to breath work. I think there is a benefit to breath work. Uh, but we're not gonna do that. But our next session, we get straight into it. We're gonna get into Viagrasan, tiger pose. It's amazing. It's an amazing class. It's an amazing asana. So yeah, see you again next
Yeah,
time.
bro. Bro, would you mind going back to that mirror thing? Let me just set my intention and then I can just
Yes, yes, yes. So on the inside of this is the actual mirror. This is on the front of it. But yeah, please, this is a
uh
very special thing, I think, for me.
for me too, yeah. Thank you, man.
Thank you, bro.